This is a Synology DS1512 Plus unit. When I plug it in and I try to power it on, I get nothing. Now, I've fixed hundreds of these before, so today I'm going to show you how I diagnose and fix them. My first step is to remove the cover, and this unit was purchased off of eBay in as-is for parts condition, and I'm noticing it has been worked on because these are non-standard screws. And the cover should slide off and away. Next, I'm going to remove my trays, and it looks like I have a little present in here. Okay, it's a lot of screws, but they look to be larger than are used for this unit, so I don't know what these are for. The power supply looks to be the original one. One of the reasons I know this is because all of the zip ties are still present, and they look very aged, so these are not new. Let's go ahead and actually remove some of these so we have a little more play. I'm going to disconnect the power supply connector, and we're going to use our power supply tester tool. So let's plug in the unit and let's see. I have my negative 12 volts, 5 volts standby, normal 5 volts, positive 12, and 3.3 volts. Now, it does seem like my power supply is working based on this voltage tester, but what it's not testing is the amperage, the current going through. So to be sure that the power supply is indeed working as it should, we're going to swap it out with one of our known good ones, a new one, and we're gonna plug that into our motherboard. And plug that one in. All right, let's see, let's press power. And I'm getting a blue light, it's flashing, my fan started spinning. So what that tells us is the original power supply, while it was providing the correct voltages, was not providing the correct power. So the unit was not able to properly boot up. So at this point, let's wait just a minute to see if the unit is able to fully boot up. I wanna see my status light and hear a beep. Okay, we just got a beep. The status light is now flashing and my blue light is no longer blinking. Let's connect it to the network and make sure we can detect it. All right, we're gonna hit the search. And it looks like we are detecting it. There's no hard disk found. That's because we don't have a drive in and the power supply is actually not fully connected. But that does show us that the unit is now able to fully boot and be detected on the network. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the original power supply and see if we can actually fix it on a component level. If you have a defective Synology NAS unit and you're not trying to fix it yourself, we do offer flat rate services which come with a 1-year warranty. Those are available on our website, which I'll link in the description down below. One of the things I also want to mention about our services is that we don't just fix the immediate fault, but we also replace all the components that are known to commonly fail with these units. So for example, we had a power supply issue here today, but before we sell this unit on our eBay store, we are going to replace the 3 or 4 other components that are known to commonly fail on the motherboard so that we have a full refurbishment. And that's something we do with all of our services and every unit that we refurbish and post available for sale. We'll disconnect the next couple zip ties and be very careful not to cut the actual original wires. Now on the side we have one screw here. Flip it over. We have one over here, and one over here, but let's remove these connectors first. So there's a clip on the top, and for this bottom connector, the clip is below it. It's gonna be 2 hands for me on this one. There we go. Then we can remove this last screw. And there we go. Now on this side we have 1 screw, 3 on the top, and then on the other side we have 2 more. Okay, this top cover should come off, and I can already see what's wrong with it. I see a bulging capacitor right here. Let's remove this cover, and I can't really spot anything else, but let's take a closer look here. This capacitor right here is domed at the top, which means that it's most likely defective and the cause of our issue. So we're gonna take the disassembly one step further. There are 4 more screws for the circuit board. So now I should be able to wiggle out this power supply. It's gonna be tough though, it's in there really tight. There we go. For the next step, let's switch over to our microscope. Something that has nothing to do with our repair is this solder joint over here. It just doesn't look good. I don't really know what happened from the factory, but this solder blob is just hanging out way too far. There's way too much solder on this joint, so let's just remove a little bit of it. It's a fairly large joint. Let's add a little flux to get better flow. And that's probably the reason why that happened, is because of how big of a joint is. It didn't flow very well. And so the machine, the solder probably started solidifying as the machine was pulling away, which is why it dragged that solder over to the side. Okay, but that looks a lot better. Looking at the capacitor, we have on one side the negative mark, which means that there should be a leg over here, and the positive would be over here. So it's a 45-degree angle almost, which leads me to believe that this is going to be one of the legs, and this is going to be one of the legs. What I'm going to do is add some solder first. You want to get good flow on both joints. And this is going to be a tough one to desolder because of how large these pads are. But we're going to do our best. We're going to try and get this out of here and replaced. So we're getting good flow right now. Let's start the desoldering process. Remove some of that extra solder I added and the original. Sometimes folding the desolder wick over the iron can help with increasing the heat transfer. All right, let's see, can I, no. It moved a little bit, but that's because I just put a lot of force. I'm gonna hang out on the joint a little bit longer. All right, let's see, can we get a little bit more solder out of there? Hey, there we go. I'm not putting nearly as much force, and now it seems to be moving. And with one hand, I'm wiggling the capacitor from the top side, and we can see it's free moving. So that's desoldered correctly. Now let's see if we can desolder the other side. I think it's gonna give us a much harder time because of how large that pad is, but let's give it a try anyways. Just hanging out on that joint for a minute, getting good heat transfer into it. All right. Let's clean up this little solder ball. Still have one leg moving, but the other is not. Let me, oh, if I keep wiggling, okay, I think at this point, it's desoldered enough that I might be able to just wiggle it out. There we go. So I'm gonna put my replacement in. Oh, there we go. Got it. So I bent the pins out a little bit so the capacitor stays in place. Let's go ahead and solder down the replacement. I want to make sure I have good solder flow. I also removed a little bit of solder from this component over here, so we'll want to add enough so that we can cover it again. Let's add solder to the other leg. That one is flowing a lot easier. Let's cut off the excess. And I'm going to add just a little bit of flux here and here. I want to make sure we have good flow everywhere. Make sure that we don't have incidental contact with some of that solder there. Let's reinstall our power supply. All right, let's do a soft power on. So I'm going to just plug it in as is. Nothing blew up, that's great. Let's go ahead and plug in our power supply tester one more time. Okay, still nothing blowing up, still good. Let's plug it into our motherboard. And we won't do a full plug-in, but let's just test here and make sure that our unit is able to turn on now. And look at that, my blue light is now blinking and it looks like the unit is able to power on. My fans are spinning. So let's go ahead and disconnect it actually. I'm fairly confident it's going to work. We're gonna do a full install and then full reboot and make sure that everything works as it should. Now for the purposes of this video, we're not gonna go into the motherboard repairs. If you wanna check those out, I'll have another video that will be linked at the end of this video as well as in the description below. All right, let's go ahead and finish our testing. Let's go ahead and connect one more time. All right, welcome setup. Let's go ahead and set it up, install, I understand, okay. Okay, and it looks like we're in. Let's check out our storage manager, and it looks like everything's healthy. I only have one drive in, but everything looks good. So that's going to complete our dead no power repair for this unit specifically. Again, there probably is more that we should do with the motherboard, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to stop it here. If you want to find out how we do the motherboard repairs, you can check out this video next. Otherwise, if you found this video helpful or useful, leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching.